Hey everybody, Captain Zant here, off camera. We're here at the Classic Comic Con in Modesto, California with Ryan T. Husk.
Hello.
And Rico Anderson.
Hello.
They're from the sci-fi series Renegades. And let's see, that was Star Trek Renegades until CBS Paramount put down the heel and got very draconian in all the Star Trek fan films. But look, let's get right into this. I want to ask you guys the big question right off the bat. Do you meet a lot of chicks at these things?
Rico?
They walk up to our table all the time. Mm-hmm. It gets to the point where, it's one of those lines.
There they are now.
And here they are. We can't get rid of them. And then they walk away.
So you get some phone numbers slipped to you and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, geeky.
Men and women, though, of course. It's all for networking.
Hey, it's all good.
Completely.
Now, did you guys, did you take a shuttlecraft over here, or did you beam down?
We took the
The
shuttlecraft.
USS Pleiades.
Is it the Pleiades or Pleiades?
Please, me. Sounds good to me.
You're going to hear a lot of bad jokes from Rico.
Written by Ryan, but okay.
Okay, look, the first episode of Renegades, Star Trek Renegades, has over 2 million hits on YouTube so far, 2 million views. And you're working on the next episode, which is Requiem. What could you tell us about that episode and when you expect it to be released?
Well, so the Requiem is going to be a two-part episode, and the first part is probably going to be released, we believe, in December, probably mid-December, and the second part will be in January of 2017. So either way, you'll get both parts before, I'm not even going to say that. Let's just say you'll get both parts in a few months.
Okay, that sounds
Either way,
totally
you will
awesome.
get it.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, and I know, like many others, completely so waiting for it because the pilot was really, really good.
Oh, cool.
Really great. Okay, so since CBS and Paramount have released those guidelines on Star Trek fan films, I'm sure it's had a large effect on Renegades. So I was wondering, could you tell us how this will affect the production now and in the future?
Well, the biggest effect is the fact that the guidelines have placed certain limitations that weren't necessarily. It didn't really necessarily give into the process that was happening within shooting the next episode. So the overall decision was made to just remove the elements of Star Trek, but still have the spirit and, of course, the inspiration that brought forth wanting to bring this project to light. And so everyone was still completely on board and very supportive, which was great, from the fans to the actors and actresses. And just taking out the elements and continuing the storyline. And I think people are going to be very pleased with the outcome.
Okay, fantastic. Any
Great
input
answer.
on that one,
Thank
Ryan?
you.
Just that, to echo what Rico said, the guidelines did come down as we were shooting, so we kind of had to make a pivot very quickly. Luckily, the cast, the crew, everybody was on board. Whatever we have to do, you kind of painted in a corner, and so we did it happily, because we are still above everything fans of Star Trek, fans of CBS, fans of Paramount. So the best and only way that we could see to continue on doing this while conforming to the guidelines was to just remove ourselves from the Star Trek universe. And it was really easy to do so, being that Renegades was kind of its own story within the Star Trek universe, but it didn't follow, like the Enterprise, or, wasn't Deep Space Nine Part 2 or anything like that. So we didn't have to worry too much about that. So the story remained completely intact, all the elements except for the Star Trek names and recognizable Star Trek pieces like a comm badge. I hear some aha sung out there. But anyway, so we were very fortunate that it didn't really affect the story too much, whereas other productions it can basically just destroy their production. But we're okay. Our fans were totally supportive. The cast is excited about it, so it went really well for us.
That's really good news, because that's really gone through my head, like how you were going to adapt, like with that coming down while you're working on the second episode.
Yeah, the timing was crazy.
Yeah.
I think also, one of the great things that has come out of this is, the creativity factor just increases, because now you're forced to and in a good way, if you really look at it in a positive way. It forces you to, well, create different characters, maybe tweak certain situations, and you know, make it your own, and that's not such a bad thing. It actually helps to expand itself to another universe, where now we have a new universe within a sci-fi world that people can appreciate and enjoy, and hopefully enjoy for years to come.
Yeah, true. Okay. And that's something to think about, because I really hadn't considered, like, you know, ending up involved, you know, emotionally involved in a whole new show, you know, when kind of thinking, okay, well, this was a fan film production, but now it's changed a bit, so you might keep in the back of your head, it's still Star Trek, but it's really not, so I like that perspective.
Now it's unrestricted.
Now it's just really not.
We can do whatever we want.
So, actually, last question I really wanted to know, do you guys think that tribbles are sexually attracted to Donald Trump's hair?
I don't know if it's a sexual thing. I feel like they look at it as home. I feel like it's like a nest, right? Isn't his hair like supposedly some kind of tribble nest where they breed and they grow and then they go back to, you know, to roost?
That's where tribbles come from, then, would be the nest in his hair.
I thought so. Maybe I'm wrong.
I just feel like, and you know, this is not any political stance by any means, but I just see, I mean, look, we've all seen the original series of The Trouble with Tribbles, and we know that as soon as a Tribble gets around a Klingon, they freak out. And I just feel like it's possible that a Tribble would do exactly what would happen if you took one and put it near one. A Klingon, or in this case, a Trump. So that's kind of where. So I don't know. Maybe it could be.
He needs a goatee. Yeah.
The Tribble or the Trumps.
And then we know for sure.
This is true.
So he could just be a Klingon, completely. We just
I mean, honestly, some people have compared him to a Ferengi.
Yes, a lot of people have.
Or it could be a love-hate thing, where maybe they are attracted to the hair, but they can't deal with the rest.
Yeah, it's just the similarities astounding. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. I hope you have a good con. Thanks for taking some time to talk to us.
It's our pleasure. We really enjoyed the Warp Space Sci-Fi Tour. You're great. What you do is great. We're looking forward to the next one.
All right. Thank you. Ryan and Rico, live long and prosper, guys.
Thank you.
Live long and prosper.
He does it the cool way.
Track yourself.
Bye.
Track yourself, right. Thanks, guys.
Dude.